Guys, what's going on? My name is Louis, and God bless every single one of you. Today is May 5th, 2024, and welcome to the Grand Supreme News channel. Alright guys, so we have some urgent information coming out. If you can, please share this video. And just looking at this title, once again, it's not looking good for the sleeping giant. It says here the sleeping giant could soon lose cellular service. Guys, I want to show you which states could be impacted and why this is happening. So it says here you have Tennessee, Kansas, and Oklahoma could be affected unless rip and replace funding is secured. Now, the reason why this hasn't been fixed yet is because a lot of money is going to biblical war. And so the person in the spotlight, the sleeping giant leader, has been putting the sleeping giant last. All right, so we need stuff that needs to be updated, repair. We need bridges that needs to be fixed. The problem here, the sleeping giant is putting other regions first, and now we're about to lose cellular service. Multiple states could be impacted, possibly in the next month. Just imagine. No YouTube, no Facebook, no Instagram, no TikTok. It's the end of the world. Or maybe it could be a good thing. And, you know, a lot of, there's too many out there that is too addicted to it. So let's see what's going on here, guys. If you can, please share this video. And I want to thank everybody so much for the love and support, either through PayPal, Patreon, or the super thanks in the comments box. Thank you so much. Your support truly helps out. Guys, prayer requests. We need a urgent prayer request. My wife, her grandmother, 95 years old, she had the C19 and she beat it. And thank you so much for the prayer. We did talk about that a couple of days ago. She's back again in the hospital. You know what? Something with the heart. So me and my wife already talked about this. We are planning to bring her down to Florida to live with us. And it's going to be a long process because equipment, tanks, like the oxygen tanks, and so many other stuff here, guys. So we will take her in. Again, we don't believe in nursing homes. We don't believe that. It's our job to take care of our parents and grandparents. They took care of us at a younger age. It's our job to take care of them. So I have to travel to Tennessee to pick her up. And it's going to be a long journey. Now, again, guys, I really don't like doing these type of stuff. But again, worst, you know, when it comes to this case, I'm planning to do like a GoFundMe. If you guys want to help support, I will take like a week off and to bring her down here to Florida. If you guys want to help out or chip in, I will open up the GoFundMe and I will have her pictures and information. All right, so she's gonna be living with us, and we're gonna be taking care of her. And my mother-in-law, she's coming too. So I will post the GoFundMe. I don't know, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But again, I would take maybe a week off and head to Tennessee. If you can, please pray for her. And thank you so much again for the prayers. All right, so it says here, while the hell, I don't want to say that name, the Kongs was quick to find 61 billion for the yellow and blue, they aren't finding 3 billion for the sleeping giant viewer cell service. Hold on. So it's only $3 billion? $3 billion? They just found, I think they found like $3 or $4 billion, and they gave it to the yellow and blue country. It wasn't part of the 61 billion. See, that's the thing, guys. The sleeping giant leader, back in 2020, he said that we come first. We not seeing that. 2 days ago, the sleeping giant leader said, if you put me in, you know, second term, if you take me in again, I will make sure the sleeping giant comes first. And I'm like, dude, so you basically saying you wasn't putting the sleeping giant these 3.5 years, you were not putting the sleeping giant first? It's very sad. So it says here the states such as Tennessee, Kansas, and Oklahoma could be affected unless rip and replace funding is secured. Now it says here rural and indigenous communities are at risk of losing cell service thanks to a 2019 a law intended to strip the sleeping giant telecom networks of the Red Dragon made equipment. And while local companies were promised to reimbursement as part of the RIP and Replace program, many of them have so far seen little of the funding, if any at all. So they were supposed to get something from the sleeping giant. They got nothing. Nothing. And now it's going to lead to cell service down in multiple states. Why can't we give them $3 billion? Same thing with Puerto Rico. Again, Puerto Rico is a sleeping giant territory. Same thing with Puerto Rico. The grid is still down in certain areas ever since Hurricane Maria back in 2017. The sleeping giant is not, again, those in the spotlight are not taking care of business, putting sleeping giant first, and also sleeping giant territories like Puerto Rico or Guam or Hawaii. And Hawaii is another one too. They need something. You guys already know what happened last year. I think it was August 8th, 2023. Lahaina and other regions. All right, so it says here you have the federal push to block the Red Dragon telephone and internet hardware. Has been years in the making, but gained substantial momentum during the 4-5. Now, in May 2019, an executive order barred the sleeping giant providers from purchasing telecom supplies manufactured by businesses with a foreign adversary's nation. I think this has something to do with Huawei, if I'm not mistaken. I remember this story back in 2019. And the same thing is happening right now with TikTok. So they're really separating themselves from the Red Dragon companies. All right, so it says here, industry and gov officials have argued the Red Dragon might use products from companies like, there you go, Huawei and ZTE to tap into the sleeping giant telecom infrastructure. Now, the Red Dragon company representative have repeatedly pushed back on these claims, and it remains unclear how substantiated these fears are. Truly apologize about that word. As the Sleeping Giant Post explained on Thursday, major network provider like Verizon and Sprint have long banned the use of Huawei and ZTE equipment. But for many smaller companies, the Red Dragon products and softwares are the most cost-effective routes for maintaining their businesses. All right. And I noticed something too, guys. I don't know if it's happening to you, but I noticed that my phone service is extremely slow, like the data. Now, it could be because of the satellites, but we did have a solar flare, I think it was a day ago, and internet service was completely terrible, especially if you do Uber. Again, I do Uber Eats in the evenings. The GPS connection was so bad. I mean, it's bad for business too, but yeah, it seems like with all these biblical wars and the companies that the sleeping giant is leaving, like Huawei and TikTok and all, is putting a big punch in the sleeping giant economy. All right, so it says here, meanwhile, the RIP and Replace program plans have remained in effect through the 4-6 administration, but little has been done to help smaller sleeping giant companies handle the intensive transition efforts. So look, he's gonna wait to the very last minute. He's gonna wait to the very last minute, and then he's gonna give the money. They're not gonna let those multiple states be without cellular phones. I mean, it's just gonna be really bad, and companies gonna take a massive hit. and 4-6 is going to lose a lot of votes. So I believe that at the very last minute, he's going to find the money. Right now, he's putting the yellow and blue country first. So it says here, you have the, give me a second. So in a letter to the House on Thursday, FCC chairwoman explained an estimated 40% of local network operators currently cannot replace their existing Huawei and ZTE equipment without additional federal funding. Although $1.9 billion is currently appropriated, revised FCC estimates say another $3 billion is required to cover nationwide rip and replace cost. Now, the House directed the FCC to begin a rip and replace program through the passage of 2020 Secure and Trusted Communication Networks Act. But it wasn't long before officials discovered the $3 billion shortfall. At the time, the FCC promised small businesses 39.5% reimbursement for the overhauls. Receiving that money subsequently triggered a completion deadline, but that remaining 61.5% of funding has yet to materialize for most providers. Last week, you have again, Senator Maria announced the Spectrum and National Security Act, which includes a framework to raise the additional $3 billion needed for the program participants. So finding money to spend on the yellow and blue country, finding money to spend on the yellow and blue country was easy for the House. But finding money to take care of their own, well, that's another story. Not happening. So it's so easy to find money for biblical wars, but it's hard to find money to put the sleeping giant first. It's hard to find money for the southern region. It's hard to find money for Hawaii. It's hard to find money for Baltimore. It's hard to find money for Ohio. It's hard to find money for the sleeping giant who are struggling. But it's easy to find money for biblical war, WW3. Look out, pretty soon, people's cell phones, it's not going to be functioning. And it's just the beginning. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you can, please share this video. And I'm going to keep you updated about the GoFundMe if you guys want to help. I know most of you don't like doing the GoFundMe. Again, we have the PayPal link in the description box, and also the highlighted yellow 3432. That's the address. If you guys feel comfortable. I know a lot of people, when we did GoFundMe for like people that had like certain personal issues, again we put out a lot of GoFundMe to many people, especially those who were in really serious situation. Most people prefer like sending the letters or other ways. Again, all the information will be in the description box. So I want to thank everybody so much for the prayer, but please continue praying for my wife, grandmother, something with her heart, and her birthday is coming up, so I think she's going to be 96 years old. 96 years old, and still strong. She beat the C19, but now it seems like the heart, there's some kind of issue going on. So again, please pray for her, and I will keep you updated. I'm planning to go to Tennessee, maybe possibly in a month. So I might have to take a week off from YouTube. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Once again, for those of you that want to give a life to Christ, you can email me. My email is in the description box. Me and my wife are here to help many and to lead many to the righteous path, and that's the path of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, Luis Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Once again, guys, $1 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream every Sunday, We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. To faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father but through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.